Hello everyone, my name is youwin and welcome to another video. Today we shall be playing some Hoi 4 and I was actually making my trying to narrow path achievement guide, but some recording difficulties. It's kind of an easy achievement, but it is a very grindy one. It takes a long time to get, as the Netherlands do not cave to the Germans, continue the Zuiderzee works, and do not lose control of any of your continental European states until 1945. Okay then, let's start with the setup. For research you don't need to do anything special. The only tip I will give you is to stay on top of construction, because at the beginning of the game the Netherlands is suffering from the crisisjaren. This gives you minus 50% construction speed. For construction we'll just build level 3 forts across our entire border with Germany. Now you might want to build military factories, but remember we're not allowed to go fascist, which means there will be a war with Germany in a few years. Production 3 and 2 infantry equipment, but we have a 4th one and we're just gonna produce some artillery with that. It's actually also a good idea to start building convoys here so we can get some supplies from our allies once the war starts. First focus is gonna be form the new government. This is gonna put Dirk Jan de Geer in charge of the Democratic Party, which is gonna give us some negatives, but it doesn't really matter at all. After forming the new government is done, you're gonna pick the focus Gateway to Europe. This is gonna give you 120 political power and unlock the decisions to give the German Reich and the United Kingdom trade influence points. With Gateway to Europe now complete, we have two new decisions: placate the Germans and placate the British. We can trigger both these decisions for 10 political power. Each time we press it, we will gain 5 trade influence points with the British or the Germans. Keep pressing those buttons until we reach 50 trade influence points with both the nations. While we're building up trade influence points, we're gonna abandon the gold standard. This is gonna give you a construction speed bonus of plus 10%, but remember that the Netherlands suffers from the crisisjaren, which gives you a negative minus 50% construction speed. So it's basically gonna put up the crisisjaren to minus 40%. In the meantime, we're also gonna overturn military budget cuts. This is gonna give you 5 army experience and 10 war support. By now you should also have the 50 trade influence points for both nations, which mean you can pick the next focus, maintain trade neutrality. This is gonna give you like 200 political power and some relations, which is nice. Next focus is gonna be legacy of the 7th Provincian mutiny. This is gonna give you daily communism support and you'll be able to hire your communist advisor. So obviously after that focus is done, you wanna hire your communist advisor, Sol de Groot. And we can also pick the focus prepared in line. This is gonna give you 10% bonus construction speed to land forts. Next one, continue the public works. This is gonna give you 1 civilian factory and a construction speed bonus of plus 10%, well modified by the crisisjaren. Okay, that's done. Now, world tension is at what, 5%? So we'll do finish the Noordoostpolder, which is gonna give us 2 infrastructure, woohoo, and modify the crisisjaren by construction speed of plus 10%, which is gonna take us down to minus 20%. And what we're gonna do with our 5 army experience is we're just gonna add 1 infantry unit to this template, which is gonna take us up to 20 combat to it. Our next focus is gonna be Germany is the greatest threat. Now we needed to wait for world tension to reach above 10% before we could do this. There we go, we're at 40% communism. Germany is the greatest threat is almost done as well, so we're gonna discredit the government here. And that's gonna take us to 50% communism, just a little bit above it. We'll just need to wait for a couple of days and now we can hold the referendum. Now you might think you want to go with a war economy and all. You can't do that because we don't have the war support, but we'll get to that in a bit. What you can do is go to limited conscription though. So we're going to start off with that. Now that we're communists, we're going to go all the way back to the other tree, and what we're going to pick is decolonization. The Dutch East Indies becomes free. Now you might think that's very painful because of all the resources, and it is indeed, but what we get is minus 10 stability, which is okay, but we get 150,000 manpower. There we go, that's 16 divisions, so we are gonna recruit just 8 more of these guys. World tension is at 21%. So what we're gonna do is go all the way back over here, and we're gonna do the war on pacifism. War on pacifism is done. So it unlocks these events down here. Anti-pacifist propaganda. We're basically gonna take the bottom one. It's gonna give us political power gain minus 35%, but that's enough. We have more than enough political power. To get rid of pacifism and to move on in my focus tree, we'll need to press this button 5 times. So each time we press this, it's gonna take 60 days. So we're just gonna skip past that. In the meantime, we're gonna do some different focuses. These guys are basically 3 forts, and it only takes 35 days for each focus. So we're just gonna start with those. There we go, we have modernized the Grabby line. So now we're gonna move back over to the other focus tree. And we're gonna go with red is the new orange. Some war support, which is really good for us at this point. And construction speed plus 10%. There we go, done. Number 3, let's go. Red is the new orange. Next focus is gonna be Bastion of True Communism. This is gonna set the rule, can create faction, which we're not gonna do. We're gonna join the Comintern. We're gonna gain base war support of plus 10%. So that's a number 4. I already forgot to count. I think this is number 4. Enemies on all fronts. Recruitable population plus 5%. Okay. Have no tolerism is the next one. Game-based stability and national war support. Okay, in the meantime, we have also reached 50% war support, which means we can go with war economy. Let's just do that. We have a lot more political power. We can do some things with this. Have no tolerance. Okay, so this should be good now, and it is. So, next focus, bring socialism to the south. This is gonna give us 10 war support once again, and a purpose focus against Belgium and Luxembourg. Okay, so the war goals are done, which means we can go to war with Belgium. And in the meantime, well, I guess now you just want to go down here. Just go to continue the Zuiderzee works, and then you want to develop Randstad. We're gonna build level 5 forts in those 2 provinces as well. And now you can really just start building up your army and playing the game. So now we're just gonna wait a couple of moments for our relations to pick up. And the good thing about the Comintern is that Comintern have a non-aggression pact with the German Reich, which means Germany cannot declare war on you straight away, which gives you a little bit extra time to build up your forces. Now the only thing you need to do is probably build a couple more units, and then you can just hold this line for the rest of the game, basically until 19. Now the only thing you need to keep in check is Italy, because Italy might come into France and destroy them. So if you see France, struggle, you might actually have to send in some troops here to alleviate the pressure, because if France falls, they will cook you in the side, and it's not going to be good. Also, National Spain is going to join later on in the game. Don't forget about that. Anyway, I will leave you with some quick shots of the war. And here we go, this is the end of the war. The war only ended in 1943. It was a long war, but eventually we did it. We annexed all of Germany and Austria became our puppet. All the other nations basically become a Soviet puppet except for Poland, who is still independent, and Yugoslavia is still independent as well, so that's excited. But basically from this point on, nobody is going to war with you, so you can just leave your PC behind and just, you know, go take a nap or something, wake up in 20 hours and maybe the game will be done. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Let me know in the comments below what else do you want to see, and yeah, thank you all for watching. Bye bye. Oh, how did you complete this achievement?